You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Welcome, everyone, back to Engage on the Roddenberry Entertainment channel here on YouTube, where we like to engage with all of you by engaging your comments that was sent to all of us. That would be John and myself.
Yeah. Hey, this might be a little too insider baseball, but we just got back some notes from our listener survey that our ad buyer provided to us. And it was really nice to see people talking about our engagement through this guy. I know, right? Through this, through email, through Facebook, through Twitter. You know, we are spread a little bit thin. It's just the two of us doing it. But this has been such a gratifying way to be able to do that, to be able to talk about an email or a comment and actually kick it around instead of just sort of sitting there on your own going like, oh, how do I respond to this? Do I write a novel here? Like, no, let's just make it fun and conversational. And now I say fun, but maybe today's email isn't that. Maybe it's a little more deep thought.
Conversational?
Yeah. Do you want to share it with us? It's from David, from, longtime listener and friend of the show. Absolutely. So why don't you tell us what David had to say?
All right, everyone, kick back with your favorite adult beverage because here we go. Hey, John and Norm, maybe this question will be on Mission Log Engage, episode 850, or something in the year 2027, but here it goes.
Hey, you made it to episode 44 here in the year 2022, so good for you. Yeah.
That's right. It's not in the archive bin in John's folder, of which he keeps everything. So
exactly.
Lucky you, David.
Yeah.
I find myself left to solitary thoughts on this Christmas Eve 2021, alone in a hotel room as I decided to do it in that way in order to see family. In any case, my thoughts turned to my near 50-year, dare I say, obsession with Star Trek. It started with those reruns of the original series on TV and has gone all the way to the latest episode of Discovery just yesterday. You take the good and bad and you try to pay heed to the lessons it teaches that almost always seem so relevant to our daily lives. It's a fictional world, a story made up by many people dedicated to a set of ideals that perhaps we all share. I've watched technology change in all that time, from cars to phones, games, medicine, even societal norms. I guess my comment, disguised as a question, is where are we going? I mean, in real life, we all know this is fiction. Do we really want it? Do we really have to go through World War III to get it? Perhaps I am having a bit of an existential crisis about Star Trek, in which I am not sure if it exists in my life to entertain, to reflect, or as some universe for me to strive towards or wish into being. To open it to both of you, where do you both want to go from here? Star Trek aside. Go.
And that go is from you and from David. Yeah. That is, man, see, this is the kind of fabulous comment that I feel like it might just be me and you and David sitting at a bar in Vegas hashing this out over a long night. Could happen. Probably will happen. It might be something that feeds a Mission Log Live episode sometime. I don't want to go too long here because this is intended to be short format, but I get where David is coming from. And it is that interesting intersection between fiction that is meant to inspire and interpret and examine humanity and the real world that is on the outside of that. You know, for us who are watching, Star Trek is something more than just mere entertainment. Although, if that's what you get out of Star Trek, great. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the entertainment. Mission Log is designed to look at the ideas within that entertainment. And so that's kind of where our focus will always be. I think back to, there's one story that always resonates with me, and that is on Mission Log, even before we got to it on Mission Log, original series, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield. Even before I got to that episode, I was introduced to a woman by Rod. We were up at Macworld in San Francisco. This would have been early 2013. So Mission Log had just started the fall before. And we're meeting all of these people. And I was introduced to a woman who, she must have been in her, well, I don't want to guess the age, but she was older. She had watched Star Trek first run, and she grew up in this, you know, little rural town in Mississippi or something, saw that episode. And that is the episode that just for a moment made her realize, hey, maybe some of the attitudes around me aren't entirely correct. Maybe some of those attitudes around me aren't the way that I need to look at the world, because there are better perspectives out there to have. And that was a moment that changed her life.
Mhm.
So I hear a story like that and I think, wow, look, there's just one person who watched an episode, who understood the message of that episode and walked away better for it. And that doesn't need to happen to every single person who watches an episode to get every single moral meaning message. That won't happen. But if you reach even one, and you can extrapolate that there's more than one, certainly represented by her, it does happen, you know?
Mhm.
So I hope that Star Trek as a piece of popular fiction can be treated like any other great piece of popular fiction that has those positive messages that can help people to maybe reset, reflect a little bit, to realize, like, oh, wait, next time I'm faced with this situation, I can think about it in a new way,
Mhm.
because this is a message that I picked up that just resonated with me. I think that's valuable, you know? Um, so I do think there is a place where this is working. I will also say, though, that, you know, David, like you, I share the worry that it feels like things have to get worse before they get better. I've expressed that before on Mission Log, and I don't want that to be the truth. I do also feel like the greatest threat that faces us is our lack of understanding and appreciation for expertise. That we are better off when we let the best and brightest minds help us to construct a better society based on good information. And it feels like the world in the last several years has been chaotic in that respect, where any opinion is a good opinion just because it exists. And I feel like that's not the case. And I worry about getting to that better future if we're unable to appreciate that the best ideas need to rise to the top. Um,
Mm.
I will put aside this soapbox. I will hand it over to you, Norman.
Through the internet.
Yes, yes. Thank you, David, for letting me. We will pick this up someday in person. But yeah,
I mean, I could see. So David, when he was writing this, and this is my assumption based on what he said, everyone comes to kind of like the end of the year, and has some of these varying degrees of existential crisis. What have I done this year? What have I done for my life? What have I done, or what has influenced me to become a better person? Right now, I'm not the psychologist, nor do I claim to be. This is just how I see things in the world. Star Trek is a philosophy and an ideology. It is not religion, and it isn't any way, shape, or form a hard-lined way for you um, to be able to shape your existence with validities, out there in the public space. I'm a great person because I'm a Star Trek fan. That's not how this works,
right,
right?
right.
You're a great person because you do great things. You're a great person because you do charitable things and treat people with respect and treat people with honor, and live a life of dignity and charity. That's what great things do for you. That's what great acts do for society as a norm, a social norm. Star Trek can inspire you to do that, that's for sure, but so can other things. We've heard many times, in the scope of the discussions of our fandom, where some people say that's it's not Star Trek, but it's the most Star Trek thing that I've ever seen. I've said it before on
Yeah.
many occasions, like with Galaxy Quest or Stargate or Babylon 5, because the message of what I'm seeing at the time is inspirational.
Yeah.
It's positive, it's optimistic. It makes you want to do better things because that's what that's how deeply it touched you as a person. It made you reflect, that self-reflection of what can I do to make the world a better place, not necessarily the future a better place, but right now a better place. The future will take care of itself if we toe the line, if we do the good things and inspire other people to do good things.
Yeah.
That's what this is. That's all entertainment is a way for you to be able to find inspiration, for you to maybe break out of a monotonous routine in your life and just find better things or better ways or better approaches to inspire yourself and in turn inspire others. That's all we can really do with this, because I said this before about Star Trek. Star Trek is a product created by imperfect people. Therefore, the source of it is imperfect, and therefore, as it extends itself through time, it becomes impure from the source. But the intentions at the very beginning were great. They were the right intentions, but they're not always going to translate over the course of history, over the course of 55 years, as the end all be all answer for everything. When someone says, and I'll go back to my original point, I'm a Star Trek fan, therefore I'm exonerated from any type of misgivings or any type of bad behavior.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah.
And that argument is absolutely 100% invalid. You're a good person. You do good things because you choose to do that. If you're inspired by Star Trek, even better.
Hear, hear. All right, David, hey, you know where to reach us. We're going to carry this conversation on. And anybody else who wants to carry that conversation on, well, you can do it in person with us when we see you at a convention. You can do it live with us on the air. And you can do it by reaching us here at Engage. Send us your comments, missionlog@roddenberry.com, Facebook and Twitter @missionlogpod. Remember to subscribe to our playlist here, Mission Log Engage, on youtube.com/RoddenberryProd. And remember, we may engage with your comments, just like we did with David's, on the air.